So basically what we're going to do for the next hour is I'm hoping that I made the GM cutoff. I have one of the closest LP totals to making or not making the cutoff that you could possibly end up with. So I have 404 LP. I've been monitoring the situation. There's 1 hour and 5 minutes left in the season, and we're going to see if I make it or not. And it's going to be really, really depressing, or it's going to be really amazing, because this will be the first time that I end GM, if I end GM. Wait, you know what confused me? You know what caught me? Why is this guy 401 LP? He's 2 LP off of GM with 40 minutes to go, and this guy queued up for an ARAM with his friends instead of trying to get GM. That's what confused me. Who is 2 LP off of GM and says to themselves, dude, this guy's a real bro. Like, if you're friends with this guy, if this is your bro playing ARAM with you guys, and you just cost him GM, last day of the season, 1 hour to go, he queues up for an ARAM with you guys. I mean, that is wild. That is wild. This guy does not care. How many times has this guy ended GM before to not care like this and play an ARAM game, I wonder? He's never ended GM before. What are we doing? What are we doing? He must not know how the math works. He thinks he's got it on lock. Oh my god. He thinks he has it. No, because he played a ranked game 2 hours ago. Oh no. What are we doing? He actually threw. He has no idea. Should I add this guy as a friend and tell him? I shouldn't, actually, because I need this guy to not go up. Okay, so we found the first lobby. So we can see, for example, like this guy, this quirky poo-poo queen, 65, is at 384 LP. So if this guy gains 20 LP, he'll also be at 404 LP. So this guy winning is a threat, because he could potentially, if he has more wins than me, I don't know whether he does or not, actually. He does. So this guy would knock me down a spot. So this guy winning for me represents minus one of those like 13 safe slots. So, and they're 33 minutes in, so their game is going to finish soon too. This guy's at 402, so this guy losing, what does that do? I mean, he's below me, but I guess so this game's pretty neutral, because there's one guy on each team, both who are below me. And if one of them has to win and one of them has to lose. So this guy, this quirky player, Poo Poo Queen, actually just knocked this guy. He had a 1v1 versus this guy, and he just knocked Zagreus out of GM for the night. Unless this guy, I mean, he has 40 minutes. If he can get into a game, he can potentially get it back. But he actually just knocked this guy out. Oh my god. This quirky player, or whoever he is, Poo Poo Queen, we looked at him earlier, who won his game, basically 1v1 versus another guy who could make it into GM. He queued up for another game, even though he's probably chilling at 403. I guess he's worried he's not going to get it at 403. So this guy's queuing even though he's 403. Are there any other people who are on the bubble here? Yeah, this guy, this Wukong, could promote as well. If he gains 20 though, he'll only be at 403. So I'd much rather have the Wukong win and be 1 LP below me than this guy win and go above me, because currently they're both below me. But if this guy wins, he'll definitely go above me. If this guy wins, he'll probably be, if he gains 20, he'll be 1 below me. If he gains 21, he'll be the same as me and still potentially below me. And if he gains 22, then he would be above me. So it's better for the Wukong to win this game. This is that game we were looking at from earlier that's also super important. So the Rek'Sai, the Ashe, and the Braum, all 3 of these people would go up above me if they win. Whereas on the other team, only the Lee Sin would go... Actually, I mean, unless... No, the Lee Sin wouldn't even go above me. He'd go to 387 or so. So we really need the Lee Sin to pull through on this game. You know, this is going to be a close game. 37 minutes in, absolute banger. So these two games right here decide my fate. If both of these games go the wrong way, more or less, I mean, I could still be safe even if both of these games go terribly for me. But if there's only 13 spots between me making GM and not making GM, with however many minutes, 20 minutes left, 19 minutes now. If some of those spots have gone away since we last checked, and all of a sudden both of these games go the wrong way, think about if both of these games go right, and there's still 10 spots buffering me with 19 minutes left, I'm totally safe. If both of these games conclude the wrong way, and all of a sudden in these two matches, half of the slots protecting me, half of the people below me protecting me from making GM or from getting kicked out of GM, half of those slots go away based on these two games. So it literally all comes down to these games. Absolutely wild. 52 minutes? Are we still playing at 52 minutes? Oh no, it ended. Oh my god. Okay, so this game's already over. So these guys aren't playing anymore. That game did not go in my favor. This guy's not in a game. This guy's not in a game. Thank goodness. Just don't queue up. Just let me have it. Okay, so here we have a lobby. Keep in mind, of course, that there might be multiple people in this lobby who need it. Wow, this is really weird. It's an all diamond lobby. The only guy in this lobby. So this is not going to include anyone else, actually. So this is not going to have any duplicates because that guy is Grandmaster 402 LP and he got a Diamond 2 Diamond 2 lobby. That is crazy. We'll see what happens there. Obviously, I guess we'd be rooting for the all diamond team because if this guy wins, he'll take one of those 13 spots, and he would be above me. But if he loses, then he's still below me. So we want that diamond team to win. How long into the game are they? 14 minutes. So that's one guy. That's one potential spot. Okay, here's the game. Recognize these guys. So let's see what's going on here. We got 1, 2. Oh my gosh, this game's really important. This game's got all the beans on the line. Let me think. Okay, so this guy could afford to lose, and I don't think it would matter, because if he goes minus 20, he's still at 405. He should be chilling. So I don't think this guy matters that much, even though it's really close. I don't think he matters. This guy would be ahead of me. This guy would be ahead of me. This guy would be ahead of me. So that's 3 people who are currently below me who would be ahead of me. So out of those 13 spots that were there before, this would take 3 of them if this team wins. This guy can afford to lose LP. It doesn't matter. He's already ahead of me. On the other team, this guy would only get to like 380, so that doesn't do anything. This guy's already ahead of me. This guy's trying to get Challenger. Oh man, this guy didn't make Challenger. I saw this guy when he was 1 game off of Challenger with 2 hours to go in a lobby. He must have lost because now he's gone down. Challenger cutoff is about 777. So this guy is not making Challenger. He would have to win this game. It's 2 minutes in. Oh yeah, they're not even close to finishing. He'd have to win this game. Oh, it's impossible. Wow, this guy is playing on pure copium right now. Let me explain the math behind this one, okay? This game's 3 minutes in. Let's say they won this game at 15 minutes, okay? 12 minutes from now, there's going to be 11 minutes left in the split. This guy needs to win 2 games to get Challenger. This guy is playing, unironically, for the hope that he can end this game in 12 minutes and end his next game in 12 minutes. And that's not even thinking about Champion Select. Wow. I mean, this guy has 0% shot. He is playing on pure copium right now. I'm telling you, this guy, if you added him and asked him, he wouldn't have time to respond to you. But if you added this guy, if you talk to this guy right now, he would tell you, if there's a shot, I'm playing for it. 100%. So actually really important. This is a really important game. This is another one of those games like we saw before where 3 people could potentially knock out 3 of those 13 spots in one game. But if this team wins, nothing happens to me. So I absolutely need this guy to win. Oh, you're right. The Viego could be a challenger Smurf. Oh my god. He could be a challenger Smurf, but the problem is that his summoner spell swapped from F to D, and he's lost a lot of these games. So I'm actually thinking that instead of a challenger Smurf, I'm thinking that this guy... Wait, it goes back and forth, actually. I have no idea. I don't know. Who knows what's going on with this account? I don't know whether it's the booster or the boosted or the... or he bought the account and he's playing on it now, or the guy who bought it is bad, or the guy who bought it is good. We have no idea. There's not enough games to tell. But it's definitely shenanigans. That account should be banned, but you know, it is what it is. Wait, we got Zion Spartan on 80 carry at one. Wait, how is Zion Spartan down to 136 LP, by the way? This must be his Smurf account or something. I swear I saw him at like 300 LP a day ago. Oh, this is not looking good, Zion Spartan. Oh my god, Darshan, what has happened? This has got to be fake, right? No, it's confirmed. CLG Darshan. Oh my god, he has fallen really hard. He's losing on everything that he plays. This is a dirty looking OP.GG. Holy moly. Okay, so this game's really important, but I'm really worried about the Viego. You should play, trust yourself. I actually, well, obviously I'm not going to play now, but there's like 16 minutes left, so the game wouldn't even finish anyways. But I actually really agree. I think if I was doing this again, instead of stressing about it and not playing, and like leaving it up to fate, I would have much rather have just played 12 hours ago when I won that one game and I was like excited because I thought I was getting in. I would have much rather like continued playing, tried to win another game, to be 100% sure, rather than leaving it up to other people. You know, I'm good at league games. I'm not necessarily good at predicting how much LP everybody's going to gain in a day, right? So it makes more sense to keep playing. Here's another game. I think we've seen this one too. That was, we were surprised that this Poo Poo Queen re-queued, even though he seemed to have it locked at 403. Oh yeah, we were rooting for the Wukong in this game, and this game hasn't concluded yet. Okay, so what does the website say? The website, if we refresh, oh my god, it says 404. Now I'm freaking out. But okay, the website's always like up 1 LP. Okay, I'm at 404, so that's... I knew it was going to be close, but I didn't want it to be this close. Holy moly. Oh my god, the client's like not opening up. Not that it matters, I'm not trying to play. I mean, whatever's going to happen is going to happen, right? 404 LP, 16 minutes, 12, what is it, 12 minutes to go? Oh man. Okay, I'm back in the client. Let's see. So we're going to do the same count again that we did. There's 11 minutes left. So it says 404. So how many people are 404 or higher? Including me, there are 56 of us who have 404 LP or above who would be promoting into GM. 56, we got to remember that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56. So we would be... Okay, we're chilling. So the website says 404, but like I said, it's running about 1 LP above what it should be. So we're right here in the middle of 403. So how many spots? Oh my god, does it come down to the last 2 matches? And if they finish in the next 10? So because there was like at least 6 people in those active matches that could finish. So how many spots here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I think I skipped one. 6, 7. Oh my God, I'm going to make it by like one spot. It literally comes, I think it comes down to these matches. The outcome of these matches were 6. So there's, I believe, 7 spots. Oh my Lord. Not like this. There's 7 spots. What about the people who are at 404 LP with me? Okay, I'm at the top of 4. Okay, so there's 7 spots, 7 people that can get pushed down. But if 8 people get pushed down, I'm out, I think. So in these current matches, we saw that they have to finish before the 9-minute timer ticks down right here. Okay, so then there's this one. This one's not over, right? 22 minutes in? Oh my God, it's over. So we did not want MintMaid's team to win, but MintMaid's team won too. Yeah, Diamond and MintMaid just got enough LP, but this only put one person up. And this happened also 30 minutes ago. But there's probably still more games. Yeah, it's probably coming down to whatever games are going on right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, still 7 spots. It wasn't just for the next 25 seconds. It was since I logged into the client. But there's no way in 2 minutes, 7 spots go that way. We just did it. I think if my math is correct. Why does it say Masters? Oh, it gave me a heart attack. I refreshed and it said Masters. Oh my God. Riot Games, you dirty dogs. Oh my God, I had a heart attack there. I was like, there was no way. It was 7 spots in 2 minutes. I refresh and it says Masters 404 LP. I'm like, no, there's no way. Oh my God. What a decision to not play. I ran the numbers, okay? And I finished, out of 1,000 spots, I finished 996 or something, I think. Let's see, where am I on the leaderboard now? Huh? Oh, I have to restart the client, I guess. Holy moly. I don't know if I did. What do you mean you don't know? He definitely made it because it's showing Challenger, right? What do you mean you don't know if you did? Did his... Oh my God. Riot's... This guy who was trying to get Challenger... Well, you know what they say. My LP is in God's hands now. I left it up to the big guy, and he delivered. 1 LP. We made it by 1 LP. This guy finished 410 LP. Oh my goodness. It was so close. It's so crazy, the end of the season. It is a wild ride. So let me go to my op.gg. Okay, but let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at the run. Let's take a look at the run, shall we? It was looking a little bit doomed. I'm not going to lie. I was having a terrible stretch of games. Probably in here or so. Oh yeah, this was the low point, the Yumi games. I remember it well. There were a couple of days left until the end of the season, about a week left, right? Things were going fine. I was kind of stuck around 200 LP, but I was confident that once I got back into the swing of things, I'd be able to climb back up to my peak. I'd get in good form, and I'd be able to try to get it done, or at least give it a good shot at the end of the season. And then I get into game with lethal 80 carry main, okay? I had been playing recently a lot more Nautilus because I've been having this problem with Braum, even at like 100 or 200 LP, where I play a very aggressive style of Braum, and my teammates are bad and don't realize what they can do with the champion. In other words, here's really the problem. You have to deal with this all the time in solo queue. I'm not just complaining about my teammates, but I'm a very experienced Braum player for my rank, right? I have 3.3 million mastery points or whatever on Braum. I know Braum inside and out, the finest details, right? That doesn't mean I'm the best player. As I've said, a challenger player who knows more about the game and is pretty decent at Braum is going to be a better Braum than me right now. But I understand Braum better than anyone on the server, at least in NA, right? Maybe there's some Koreans, I don't know. But I understand Braum inside and out. What ends up happening is I play a very aggressive style of Braum where I'm really pushing the champions to its limits. And a lot of times my AD carries don't know their champion as well because they're not one tricks, right? It's a trade-off. They're very good at 10 different champions. They're much more serviceable if they were playing for a team. They can fit into a lot of different team comps better. They don't have games that are guaranteed losses where they're in like just a really bad matchup or there's not much they can do. But when it comes to playing the champion they're playing, I have more champion mastery, and I don't just mean that in terms of mastery points. I mean in terms of experience and knowing what my champion can do. I'm usually better at knowing my champion's limits than most of the people on my team because I'm an extreme one trick. So what ends up happening is I play Braum too aggressively enough for the champion, but too aggressively for my teammates to want to play that way with. And so they're too cautious. They don't know their champion's limits as well or what we can do. And we miss out on a lot of opportunities, or I get left for dead, hung out to dry because we don't know what to do. So recently I found a lot of success the lower I was in Masters playing Nautilus, because even though I'm not as good at Nautilus, it's so obvious when you hit a hook that you're in a winning fight in bot lane that your teammates just follow up. This period of time was a period of time where my Nautilus stopped having as much success as it was before. And things started going bad, and I started kind of reverting back to the mean. I was winning like 60-70% of my Nautilus games. So I just lost, like 4 Nautilus games in a row happens. But, I kind of reverted to the mean or whatever on my Nautilus. And then this is what really starts the cinema. I get into game with Lethal, this 80 carry main right here. And he bans Nautilus every game. And I see that he's playing Jinx and that they have a Lulu, and I think I don't really want to play Braum into an Enchanter. I'll just match Enchanter for Enchanter. We'll just scale. We have a Jinx. We'll outscale them. It'll be free. Well, he didn't do so well, and I didn't do so well, and our whole team didn't do so well, so we lost. And then I said, I wasn't playing my best game on Yuumi. Like, my item set wasn't updated. I didn't even know what to do on the champion. But now I've got it figured out from this last game. Why don't I play another game on Yuumi and see if I can, do better next time? And it was same situation. I had a mage bot lane, so I didn't want to play Braum Seraphine, although sometimes that's totally fine. But I didn't want to play Braum Seraphine, and we were versus a Soraka. So same situation. Like, I wanted to just match Enchanter for Enchanter. Didn't want to play Braum with a mage bot. Did pretty well, did a lot better than the first game I played on Yuumi, lost again. Yuumi is my worst champion by far, by the way. It's crazy, actually, if you look at the stats. I think I have a 30% win rate on Yuumi on like 50 games or something like that in solo queue. Worst champion for me by far. The champion has no agency. It's the complete opposite play style of what I'm used to. I'm like literally trying to right click while I'm on top of somebody, while I'm like riding on somebody, because I cannot play this champion. Lose another 2 games on Nautilus, take a 6-game loss streak in a row. Disaster, right? Things start slipping. I guess I kind of bring it back a little bit. Things get really bad here. We can see I'm hitting like a D1 lobby and stuff like that. It's a disaster. Just a mess. And so I've lost a lot, right? Then this is where it gets interesting. Lethal comes back into the picture after this big losing streak that I had, because we were both around 200 or 300 LP, And I start matching with him in games where I'm at like 80 or 100 LP. And we start bantering. I think I lost a game to him. Let's see if we can even find it. I lost a game to Lethal. Where would it be? This one. This is where it started. I lost this game to Lethal, and we started joking around about, because I have no idea who any of these guys are. We were down bad. We lost so much LP. I started joking with him in all chat, like, how much LP have you lost, you know? Because we both knew each other from like 300 LP, and here we are down at like 80 or 100 LP, playing in these like win traded low masters dog tier lobbies, getting absolutely obliterated by our teams. And we're bantering, we're joking around. He adds me after the game, and we duo a little bit. I don't know how well we did duoing. Probably not that well. Like, we lost this first game. We could probably count them up here. We win this game. We lose this game, so we're 1-2. I play on my own. This is my own. This is not with him. So I kind of bring it back on my own here with a bunch of games in a row. I think I'm like 1-2 with him. And then I go on another losing streak here by myself. These games. Did we really only play? We must have played more than 3 games. Here we go. We played another one. So we're 2-2. But so that's where it started, but we're way far back, so I don't even remember everything that happened here. Oh yeah, this is where some of the content happened. I played in total, because I couldn't dodge much at the end of the season, or I ran out of dodges some days. I played a total of 4 games in mid lane, which is my secondary role that I queue up for. I got mid lane 4 times that I had to end up playing out. I went 3-1 in those games. I played 2 games of Lulu mid, 1 game of Karma mid with full support items, and 1 game of Braum mid. And I'll show you how those ones went. This was the first game. I was duo with Lethal again, but this Lulu got support, and so I went Karma mid, and I went 2-2-21. We had a Kindred and a Jinx, so it was just like a dream comp for enchanters, and like Malphite filled in the top lane or something probably. I don't know what he was doing. Maybe he wasn't filled. Anyway, so we just have the perfect comp, 2 hyper carries, 2 enchanters, stuck in mid lane, thinking we're going to lose. We're in the middle of a losing streak, and we somehow managed to win. I even ended up changing my build. I'm not sure whether this is good or bad. I changed my build on Braum. We were really desperate. From the Warmog's Locket thing I've been doing, I changed back to like Locket first or Knight's Vow first, depending on the situation. So I usually go right now like Locket, Knight's Vow, Redemption. But it kind of depends. Let's see, Lethal and I lost. So we won this game on mid. Then we lost 2 in a row on bot lane. We won 2 on bot lane, 3 and 4 in bot lane, 5 in bot lane in a row, brought it back. That's when Tragedy ADC comes into the story, okay? Tragedy ADC is an Ezreal player. Oh, wow, he lost a lot of LP. It's fine. We don't talk about that. He's a bit of a tragic player. Tragedy ADC is an Ezreal player. Let's see, how many games does this guy have played on Ezreal? 214, and then his next most played is like Echo Jungle, and then a 26% win rate on Ashe. I got pretty nervous. This guy linked his stream. He was thinking about not picking Ezreal. He was like, I haven't played another AD carry in so long. I should definitely play another ADC. And so here's what happened. This guy linked his stream, and I was listening to his stream in the background of our game, seeing what he was saying about me and how we were playing. And he said, I know this BenTbeyondrepair kid. This guy, I used to call him such bad names. I hated playing with this guy, but he's really improved a lot. And so this guy thinks that I was like one of the worst supports ever, but that I've improved a lot. And so he added me after we won this game. We did really well. You know, he went 12-3-2. I went 0-3-25, 81% KP, 8 KD. So we do really well. He adds me after the game, and he says, yo, sorry for all those times I flamed you. And I said, I play with chat off. I didn't know that you flamed me, but thanks for letting me know. So then the next game, I get him again, and we win again. So that's kind of the tragedy ADC arc. We had a couple of nice games with him. Didn't seem to help his climb much, though. Sitting at 30 LP, it looks like he finished. So that's that guy. We come back in. Beautiful win streak. This is the win streak I'm talking about, right? 11-game win streak cinema. With the tragedy ADC arc tucked in the middle. It started with, a 5-game win streak duoing with Lethal. And then he gets off and I win 2 with Tragedy. And then I win, 4 of these ones. Beautiful. Absolute cinema, including not one, but, actually this was a separate thing. This wasn't in the win streak. A second game in a row on mid lane, not playing with anyone, just playing with random people. Oh, this is where Nuki comes into the picture. Okay, just playing with random people. A second game on Enchanter mid, full support items. What was it? Did I go Moonstone or Redemption first? Redemption first is crazy. I think I did that on Karma or something. No, it was Moonstone first, but I think the Karma game I went crazy and built Redemption first. Yeah, this was 12-minute Redemption Karma mid. Okay, so I win another game on Lulu, and this is where Nuki comes into the picture, okay? So Nuki is this guy, one of the guys I've been messaging, just finished 1 LP into Challenger. He literally finished the same as me. He made Challenger by 1 LP. This was literally the cutoff was 777, and he made it. So I met this guy in this Lulu game where I said, I'm filled mid, I want support, but we can win. And he hard carried the game. And I was like, he would jump in on Blue Cane and assassinate their team, and I would Lulu ult him, and he was unkillable. And we won this game, hard carried. Another great game to have in Enchanter mid, by the way. We had like a Kog'Maw who could carry. We had a very fed Kayn. So this guy added me after that. And we started trying to talk, or we started talking about trying to make it at the end of the season, kind of thing. We finish it off with a couple of wins. And then this is where things get sad, I think. I'm trying to pinpoint the exact game. I think it's this game. No, it's probably this one. Does that make sense? Yeah, it might make sense. I'm trying to pinpoint the exact game. But at some point here, I think it's this one. I was 1 game off of the GM cutoff at this point. And I come on, I think it was this game. I come on and I lose. I didn't have a good game. It was my first game of the day. I didn't make it. Oh, okay. No, I'm remembering now. Okay. So I was 1 game off of GM, 1 game off of like securing GM or like being a decent amount of LP above the cutoff. And I have this game here where I do really well. I get ace. I go 3, 5, and 17. Zhao Danny, who I think is a pro player or something, isn't he? Or maybe not. Is he 100 Thieves? I don't know. It doesn't say. I don't know whether this guy's like a Danny or not. But I have Zhao Danny. The guy locks in Victor. He dies 12 times, and we lose. It was terrible. I mean, you have to see the game to understand it, but this was not a good game. My top laner's 3, 8, and 3. My 80 carry, even though we're doing really well and I'm having a great game, my 80 carry is only 11 and 8. Like dying 8 times on Jinx, probably not good here when we're doing so well. The Victor dies, goes 8 and 12. Not a good score, not a good look. Jin Zhao did okay, I guess, but just a bad game. So we don't make it. I run it back another game. So this would have gotten me above the threshold. I win this game, so now I'm back in a spot where I'm 1 game away from securing GM. But keep in mind, 2 days ago, right? All of these games were 2 days ago. Look at this. I played 18 games this day. Okay? I played 18 games this day and then stopped right here. I was one game off again, and I was making a really tough decision. It's 5 a.m. It's hard to get into a game. The games are probably likely to be low quality, lower ranked, win traded games. But I've been doing so well. I went on an 11 game win streak. I went 1-1 after that, but I played really well even in the game I lost. Played really well in this game that I won. I'm on fire right now, but I'm 18 games deep and it's 5 a.m. Do I go to sleep and give myself the chance to play the game tomorrow, or do I keep going one more and finish it right there? And I decided that I was so tired that I needed to go to sleep and let myself have the chance tomorrow. I went to sleep. I wake up the next day. I get on. I play bad. Not terrible, but I played bad. I had 75% KP. Whole team is just doing abysmal, right? But I didn't play well. We get destroyed. My 80 carry is 1-8. My mid laner is 0-8. I'm doing okay, but not that well. I have good kill participation. Probably shouldn't die so much with so little assist. Either way, just not a good game. I think the Thresh played really well. We were having a hard time even laning bot. So it's just not good. So I get up, first game of the day. I'm nowhere near the same caliber of player I was just 8 hours ago or so when I was 18 games deep and really, really on point with the game. Really warmed up. So I come in, first game of the day, disaster. Throw away the opportunity again. It's okay. I'll do what I did before. I'll win another game, get myself back in position. I'll run it back. I get filled mid. Okay. With 1 day left in the season, I get filled mid. I'm thinking if I dodge, I'm not going to have the same LP that I need to get over the threshold. And I won't have a dodge for any future opportunities. And because I only get that one dodge. And this is what really baited me into playing it. My bot lane is hovering Yi Lulu. And what had worked so well in those 3 mid games previously, remember at this point, I was 3-0 playing support champions mid lane in the past couple of days. What worked so well is not just randomly playing a supported mid lane, but playing a supported mid lane when I had some sort of hyper carry champion in bot lane or in jungle that I could kind of help, or like a double enchanter setup. Well, what we ended up with this game is I see the Yi and the Lulu, and they didn't want to give it up. And I'm thinking, okay, we have some Smurf Yi Lulu duo bot lane that's going to try to hard carry the game. And if I just don't feed on Braum mid, we'll have a crazy good comp that can never lose team fights. And if we just are okay with that and make it through the early game, we'll be chilling and win the game just like the other games. Unfortunately, it turns out that the Yi, and I didn't know this because we were in Champion Select, is a Smurf, but is Diamond 3. How a Diamond 3 player was even in my game at 300 LP or to 400 LP right between GM and Masters, I don't know. But he's D3. Now, he has a very high win rate, very, very high MMR, so that's obviously part of it. Part of what you have to understand about this is some people may look at this and say, wow, this looks really good. But it's always pretty 50-50 with accounts like this. Because an account like this could either be someone who's legitimately challenger, who's really, really, really good, and it's free, or it could be someone who's actually a Masters peak player, who's now their MMR is peaking higher than they should be because they've won such a high percentage of their games on the way there. And they just end up actually being bad. And that's what happened in this game. The guy was terrible. We just didn't do well at all. I don't even think the Lulu ended up being duo with the guy. I think it was a random person. The baby loves the plushies. They're really good. So that's been good. New Year's going pretty well. We were really busy with the holidays, but you'll see we just made GM by 1 LP. on the last day of the year. We're going through the absolute cinema story. So we end up losing with the Yi Lulu Braum. Our jungler, the Skarner, was super unhappy that we were picking that. Did this guy end up like making GM? He did. Super unhappy with the game. Did not want to play it. I'm surprised nobody dodged, to be honest, with me locking in Braum mid. I think I did okay. I mean, I know this is not a good score line, but we didn't really get a chance to do anything, right? But yeah, I don't know. We ended up having this situation where our jungler actually forced a dive bot lane, where we were waiting for the wave to get pushed in, for our Yi to push in the wave so we could dive. And we had showed them and their team that we were there waiting behind them to dive them. And so their whole team's on the way. Like their mid laner and their jungler are going to be sprinting there to try to defend this dive. And so we can't go for the dive anymore because it took too long to push the wave in. So we should just leave. But our jungler actually goes in and starts forcing this dive, and we just get wiped 4-0, early on in the game, and it's just a disaster. Show the plushies. Where are they? I think that they're up in the baby's room. I can get them in a little bit, but I can't this minute. We're almost done with the cinema. Okay, so it's a disaster. We lose. I'm thinking, oh my God, I should have dodged. Now I'm not just 1 game off. I'm not just 2 games off. I'm 3 games off because I have to win 2 games to make up for these 2 losses. And I have to win a 3rd game to actually be over the threshold and safe and sound in GM. So I queue up again. And this happens a lot too. I had a bad game for sure. This guy is really good. This guy ended Challenger. Look at this guy. What happens a lot of times, especially late at night, and I was playing a lot of these games late at night, is you're either in a GM lobby or you're in a Challenger lobby. Or like a master, there's like a master GM lobby and then there's a Challenger lobby. And so what happens is that because I went on that big 11-game win streak to save the season, my MMR was very, very good. And so I was getting into a lot of those Challenger lobbies, and I was having a hard time holding my own because I'm not trying to get into Challenger. I'm just trying to get into GM. And so it's actually very difficult even to just get into GM, because if your MMR is too high and you don't have a lot of time, you don't get to play in enough of those master GM lobbies. You end up losing a bunch of games to really good Challenger players. So I lose this game badly. Like, my AD carry was actually really, really good. One of the better AD carries I've played with. And I just did awful this game. I mean, this game is just a disaster. So now I'm really tilted because now I'm 4 games off of GM with 1 day to go left in the season. I need to win 4 games in a row, or I need to win 4 more than I lose. It's going to be really hard. I'm thinking, why did I not play when I was doing so well the previous night? I could have just played 1 more game. Why did I not dodge this game? I got mid. Like, what is going on? Like, why did I play so bad in this game? I bring it back. This is where really the cinema kicks off. Maximos. This guy is the single player that I hate the most of any League of Legends player I have ever played with or against in my entire life. This guy and I have IRL beef, okay? Maximos is a guy I know from college. Okay, so we went through trials, tribulations, ups and downs, winning streaks and losing streaks. You have to keep in mind, I was at 80 LP a couple of days ago and thought if I lose just 4 games in a row, I'm going to have to end and hold Masters 0 LP just so I finish in Masters. And then my season will be over. So I was literally going into games thinking, if I lose 4 games in a row, my season's over. I have to win. Win 11 games in a row, meet some friends along the way, Lethal, Nuki, Tragedy. Okay, there's the plushies. Okay, but now we have to talk about the game that saved my season. Okay, the game that saved, in-game. The game that saved my season, the grudge match, the absolute banger of a match against Maximos. Now, you have to understand, Max is my number 1 personal rival in League of Legends and real life. I met this guy in college. He was the head of the League of Legends program at the University of Michigan. Something that you have to understand about collegiate esports, which is a big problem, is that collegiate esports should be run by adults. It should be run by the athletic department, not because it's necessary. Like, we could get into the argument about whether it's athletics, because you're sitting on a computer. It's not about the name athletics or it being a sport. It's that adults need to be running it and having a real, fair, competitive process for who gets on a team and who doesn't. The way that esports works at a lot of schools is it's a club, right? Not a athletic thing. At the serious colleges that are getting like rank 1 in the collegiate championship, like the top 4 schools, let's say like Robert Morris University and stuff like that, UC Irvine, these schools that have good League of Legends programs, it is partially run or overseen by adults. It's under the athletic department. Hey, what's up? You're in for the cinema. So Maximos, okay, was the person who was a student at this school, this college that I went to, running this guy right here, running the League of Legends club. Him and the 5 people who were on the team, as far as I understand, literally like rented a house together and were like best of friends and having the time of their lives, okay? I transferred to this college because I had started at a community college to save money. So I transferred halfway through, and so I could only play for my senior year. That was the only time that I was going to be able to play. It was also the first time that I had gone from being like a plat or a diamond player to hitting masters for the first time. So I had very recently like hit masters for the first time. So there's tryouts, and I decide to go and meet the guys. Think I'm going to meet a bunch of cool people who like to play League, a bunch of other people who are really high elo, see what we got going on, right? So I go to the club meeting, and it's not good. The 80 carry tells me that he's seen me in solo queue before, and I absolutely int him every time we play together. And apparently, like I said, I think the 5 of them were like literally great friends, lived together, everything like that. There was no way in the world that anyone who wasn't already a part of that roster was going to get into that roster. The tryouts were essentially a sham. That being said, do I think I was better than the other supports? So there were 3 of us playing support who were like high rank, like Master Plus. There were some other people who were like D4 and stuff like that. And one guy, I think it was like D2 maybe or something. And what ended up happening is like we do tryouts, and after only 2 games, 2 scrims, I played 2 games. I won both games versus their current starting support player and versus this other support player who was around, both of them were around 100 LP. And I was like fresh into Masters for the first time, but I was not hard stuck. I was like rapidly climbing from having been D4 peak before to like Masters for the first time. And it wasn't clear where I was going to stop and peak. So it was totally possible, right? Especially if I was focusing more on League in college because I joined the team, it was totally possible that I would have peaked at like, 400, 500 LP and just peaked higher and been a better player than those people. But there were a couple of problems, right? For one thing, I was slightly lower ranked than them by like 100 LP, and I was slightly less experienced at higher elo because I had only just gotten there. But it wasn't clear where I was going to peak. Even without focusing on League and not being a part of the team and not having any coaching, I think I peaked then at like 200 LP or something like that. And I was doing all kinds of other stuff and not as focused as I would have been if I was on the team. After 2 games where I beat both of these other 200 LP support players, did really, really well, they announced who was moving on to the next round of the tryout. And of all of the support players, including people who were literally like in plat and diamond, I was the only support player that was eliminated after the first round of tryouts, after only 2 games. I didn't lose a single game. I played extremely well in both games. even D4 support players were being kept in the tryouts and given games over me. It made literally zero sense. So I got frustrated and started messaging Max, who was in charge and kind of running the thing, and trying to figure out, like, why did this happen? What did I do wrong? What was going wrong? It was just crazy. The other thing is, like, I'm a very communicative person. Obviously, like, my league videos are very successful. I think I yap a lot. I'm a very talkative person. They needed someone in support who was a shot caller and who was very communicative, like talked a lot during the game. The current support player that they had, no offense to him, maybe was a little bit better at me at the time, but I was still on my way up and had a higher ceiling, I believe, than he did, and I've peaked much higher than him now, and the other guy. Neither of them even playing on the team, focusing on league, doing coaching, having coaching and all that stuff, having great teammates who were challenger and GM around them, never got anywhere near where I peaked, while I'm busy and have a family and a kid and a company and stuff like that. So it's nuts. So I had way more potential. It's just, do we see the potential and do we work on developing it or not? Not only did I get cut from the tryout after these 2 games, and then we got into an argument, but they didn't just have one team. They had not just like a varsity team and a JV team to develop talent. They also even had a C team. They had 3 teams to put people on. But they said that the C team, even JV, but the C team was really reserved for people who were not seniors anymore, because they would rather have a D4 player who's like a freshman or something like that, who has 4 years to potentially develop into a better player, rather than putting someone who's going to be gone from the college next year into even the C team to give him the opportunity to maybe gain 200 LP, work on their champion pool, play in some scrims versus the main team and show whether they're good or not. None of that. There was a complete lack of competition because it was run by the students, not run by the college trying to perform well at the collegiate tournament. So I got into a big argument with him, like paragraphs and paragraphs and paragraphs on Discord. This guy is my number 1 op, okay? I don't hate anyone, IRL or in League of Legends, more than I hate, not really this person specifically. Actually, we bantered a little bit after this game, and it's a long time ago. But I've never run into anyone in my life who I kind of despised more than this person for running things that way and for tanking their program by running an anti-competitive environment. And I think that the college, or any college that's serious about doing well in esports, needs to think about this kind of situation and have an adult in charge of running the tryouts. Not only was it him, but you also had other people on the team, like good players, like I think their jungler or something, I forget. Maybe it was, I thought he was mid though, but it was like the mid or the jungler, maybe both of them. They were like higher rank or something like that. They were like challenger or GM. So they didn't even bother trying out. Like they didn't have to play at all. They were just assumed that they were going to be on the team. And those players who had picked themselves for the team assumed that not only did they not need to try out and that they were guaranteed on the team, not even needing to play a match, but they were they were the ones picking their other teammates. So you have this weird situation where instead of having a coach, or instead of having a third party unbiased student, or instead of having someone from the college or an adult running these tryouts or anything, it's literally madness. It's just like the best player on the team picking who he wants to play with and who he's friends with. It's literally nuts. So very anti-competitive. The other thing, of course, is that I've worked as an analyst before for multiple teams. I worked with a team called NTZ when Ranked Fives was a thing. Then I worked with Zenith Esports when Contracts was playing for them as an amateur player. So yeah, this was in high school. So I had done like some analyst work and some coaching type of stuff, like talking with really high level players for a long time, for years. And I could have helped them, and I wanted to help them, even if I wasn't on the main team, even if I wasn't on the second team. I just wanted a chance to be on even the third team and to see if I went up in rank, to see if I could develop a champion pool and to help even with coaching or with VOD reviewing the games with the players or something like that. Honestly, I just wanted to be friends with a couple of guys at the college that I went to who played League at the same level as me. And I never got the shot because after 2 games of playing in those tryouts, I was gone before D4 players who never committed to League, who never cared about the game, who never did well, and I outpeaked every single player that ever tried out for that team. And you know what? They went into the collegiate championship and they got blown the fuck out because they fucking sucked at the game, because they didn't have the right people in the right place to push them to be better. And it was just a disgusting experience. You know, you run into experiences like that that just leave you with a bad taste in your mouth for like a long time. Just a terrible experience. So anyways, that being said, not good. I just got 5 more haters. So I've absolutely smoked the ops today. So to continue with the story of how we made GM by 1 LP tonight, the last day of the season, first time finishing GM. We're down bad. You know, we go from 1 game away from locking in GM at the end of the season with 2 days left. After a nice 11-game win streak to save the season, we lose. And then we bring it back and we have another opportunity. And then we lose 3 in a row on 2 awful games in a game I should have dodged on Braum mid, by the way. You know, I bring it back off of my first game against Max, the guy who ran the esports program there at that college. When I saw him on the other team, I went from being depressed that I had thrown away the end of my season to being furious. That fire that has driven me to get good at League in the first place, or to continue even bothering to play the game, it's like the embodiment of that drive was against me on the other team this game. And I didn't just play well after coming off of a 1-13 game, absolutely terrible game for me. I didn't just play well, I put their team in the dirt in 15 minutes. I took their support and their AD carry and I ran them into the ground. I roamed mid every single time I was on base, and I took this Max guy and I absolutely destroyed him. And it made me so happy. And honestly, this is the type of game that's probably still in my match history. We probably ought to watch, well, can we just watch a tad? It would make me so happy to just watch some of the highlights of this game. We have to. I know I'm taking forever with this story. We have to watch Max get destroyed. This 1 game changed my entire season, because this game I went from queuing up for the game, being depressed that I needed to somehow win 4 games in a row. Where is it here? I found it. Depressed that I needed to win 4 games in a row, thinking I had thrown away my 2 opportunities to lock in GM for the season 2 days before, that I was potentially going to start going on a big losing streak because I had just lost a couple of games in a row. I go up against Max, and it is on. And all of that drive, all of the reason why I wanted to finish in GM came flooding back. Good luck, have fun, especially you, Shy. Good luck, have fun. I type immediately in all chat, good luck, you'll need it. Okay, good luck, you'll need it. Let's take a look. Level 1, what are they doing? You're versus a Braum, and you're going to try to walk into the river, try to invade our team. Level 1 is Braum. Look at this, the vision play. Sneak into the bush, completely unknown, unseen, boom, onto the Swain. He's dead, 1 down, boom, onto the Smolder. You know I focused Smolder second because that's Max right there. I focused him because it's Max. Smolder's the weakest champion in the game, level 1. We're focusing him down as soon as I can because it's him. Okay, they're all dead. Boom, 1 kill, 2 kill, 3 kills. Ash is coming around, he's not done yet. 4 kills, level 1, and in 1 minute their game was over. Into the dirt. We need to skip ahead to the crushing the enemies to the ground. Okay, here we go. Boom, land the Q. Gone, he's a goner. Gone again. Almost got this guy. That was pretty close. Hide in the bush here. Boom. He's gone. Okay, so we're mid lane right here. I see Max on the tip of my screen. Boom, Ash hits the arrow into the Q, into the Braum. Absolutely donezo. Oh, you can't see it in the replay, but I'm emoting him right here with the Braum laughing emote. I'm emoting him with the Braum laughing emote. So Ash actually whiffs the arrow, so he thinks he's safe. But I come in, block the Swain E, Q into ult, he's dead again. He even flashes away. Flash of hope right there. He's dead under tower every single time. We get him again. I come back into mid lane again here. And he's running it down. He ran it down. I think he gave up. So in 14 minutes, 13 minutes, I have this guy running it down. My number one enemy, a rivalry grudge match, he's running it down. This guy should really want to win this game too. Maybe he doesn't care about the rivalry as much as I do. That's probably true. But he should not be running it down in a grudge match, but he's running it down. I think he does it again. See if he comes back. Report Swain GG. He's dead again. I absolutely broke him. I did not just beat him in 15 minutes. I made him give up in 13 minutes. It's that simple. That's all that there is to it. So I had lost. Remember, I had the opportunity twice to clinch GM for the end of the season, and I lost. But then in the middle of me having some bad games, not dodging the game on Braum mid and stuff like that, thinking we could make it work with the Yi bot lane, disastrous streaky games here, I get Max at not my lowest hour. I was at 80 LP thinking my season was over a couple of days before this. But definitely at a low point when I could have lost streaked and ended somewhere in the middle of Masters like always. I get Max. It relights the fire. We win, and we win hard and fast. I win this game and the next game to put myself, in a good spot. I lose the next one. This guy was another really good Thresh player. Unfortunately, we lost this one. We saw this guy. Did this guy end in GM? He did. He made it as well. That's a pretty good AD carry I'm used to playing with. So I'm trying to keep track of where I was here. So I won 2 back, but I need to win a 3rd back. So I was still 2 games off in this one. Go 1-1 again. This day was surreal because I swear I looked up and I had played, because I started with this 3-game losing streak. It felt like it had been like a couple of games, like 5 hours or something like that. And I looked up and I had played 10 games again. It was crazy. I guess I lose 2 more in a row. But then I lost. This was versus that same challenger Pike player who's really, really good, who I lost to in this 3rd game of the day where I played really bad. I did better versus him in this game, but it was also really bad. But then at the end, I bring it back and I managed to win 4 games in a row. I just come back and I win the 4 games in a row that I needed in order to bring it back and get to the LP threshold. Couple of things. I would have been 20 LP above the threshold, but I got filled mid right before this last game, and remembering what had happened the last time I tried to play mid, I dodged that game. I got mid, ended up getting the game on support and winning, but that meant that I was only 15 LP above the threshold. So now here's where the race starts, right? I'm thinking to myself, look at Q-Pick. Yeah, Q-Pick's really hard too. Where's that guy? Here. Yeah, we lost. I hate playing with this solution player, by the way. Oh my. 16-2. Interesting. Oh my god. Yeah, we did lose to the 16-2 player, so that is what it is. But I was only 15 LP above the threshold. This finished 19 hours ago, so literally I got it like late into the night yesterday, but like technically today. So last day of the season, I get the LP, but I'm worried, right? Because I'm only 15 LP above the cutoff. And how much did the cutoff go up? I thought I'd be fine because I was watching it all day yesterday trying to get there. And the cutoff had gone up from 377 for GM to 387 yesterday. That's where it like started and went. So I was thinking if it went up 10 LP in a day, it'll probably go up a little bit more on the last day because it's a little bit more games, a little bit more competitive. But I don't think it'll go up 15. I'm probably good at 15. I had been talking to that Nuki guy, and he was saying, like, you might want to keep playing because it's going to be kind of close. Like, sometimes it can go up more than that. Last year, it went up. It actually went down on the last day, which was weird and unusual. But one time, it went up like 20 LP in one day. So you're either going to need to keep an eye on it, but you may want to keep playing at that point. And I was so scared watching it the whole time. I think even knowing that it worked out this time by 1 LP, I definitely think on a 4-game win streak when I was finally warmed up and playing really well yesterday, or like, I think I could have kept playing here. Even just one more game would have really guaranteed it. And I still had positive LP gains and losses. I'm gaining plus 21 or plus 22, losing 18 or 19 because my MMR is very good, as we've talked about, because I keep winning 20 more games than I lose every split and gaining 0 LP, which we'll get into. But so I'm thinking, like, I should be safe, right? But I'm not actually safe because it could have easily gone up. It went up like 14 LP in one day. And so it very easily could have gone up to 15 LP. So the cutoff literally ended at like 404 or 403, and I had 404 LP. So I made it by like 6 or 7 spots or something like that on the leaderboard, which is wild. I mean, it says right here 997. Maybe I only made it by 3 spots. So I literally slipped in like one of the last spots in GM. Oh, we got to update this so it says GM over here. I literally made it in one of the last spots in GM possible, but I think I could have kept going for sure. Amazing season, like absolutely wild end to the season too. So just crazy. And like I said, other cinema is that, you know, how did everyone else do? Nuki also made it to Challenger. You know, right at the cutoff as well. The Challenger cutoff here was 776. He's at 777. So this guy who I played with and was talking to also had the exact same situation, but in Challenger. Yeah, I'm very happy about there only being one ranked reset. That's so much better. It was such a bad system this year having 3 resets. And so, I mean, we can just do a little bit of like quick, obvious math on this. But I've been saying, like, we can add them up and I'll show the proof. But the general concept is the same. If we go back and look at my solo queue history for split 1, split 2, and split 3, which is this whole year, I finished split 1 with 406 LP. And I've talked about this in some videos before, but in split 2 and split 3, I'm probably something like positive 45 games together or something like that. So if I'm winning 45 more games than I'm losing, to go from 406 LP to 404 LP is just ridiculous, right? It's like, it's impossible to climb in high elo because they're resetting the game too frequently, unless you were playing, and I play a decent amount, like 2 or 3 games a day. If I can't climb with a 55% win rate or whatever, with 40 or 60 games won more than I lost over the year, then no high elo player, unless they're playing 6+ hours a day, is going to ever be able to climb. So they absolutely, at least, for low ranks, I think it was a little bit better because you could get back to your starting rank faster, like more like 50 games instead of 200. But you could be like way above the level that you need to be at. So like if you wanted to get Challenger, for example, you could be like, you could be like a high Challenger player and maybe land in low Challenger or something. Yeah, it's criminal. You always feel like you don't have enough time to get to your peak or even attempt to get there. Yeah, it was really bad. They did 3 to match Valorant. Oh my gosh. What are they thinking? So, I mean, we can just go add it up. We have the numbers from this split. So you can see that I went 166 in solo queue and 141. I actually went 1 and 6 in flex with my friends. I should never play flex with my friends. Absolutely miserable experience. But regardless of my friends trolling me in flex. I end up going, these numbers even look better too, out of flex a little bit. Like the Nautilus win rate goes up 2%. But, I end up winning 25 more games than I lost this split. Yet from last split, I was 418 LP. Now I'm down 14 LP. So I'm 14 LP lower than I was at the end of last split, but I won 25 more games than I lost. I mean, that's crazy. That's like, instead of gaining like 20 LP for a win, that's like I gained half an LP for every win over loss that I got. That's so wild. And then it's not even like my MMR last split or anything was bad, because it's the same story last split. I ended the split before last split with 406, and then I won 20 more than I lost. And I got 418. I went up like 12 LP on positive 20 games, which is nuts. So if we do the same thing, we're in preseason now. On op.gg, it says we're in preseason. This thing is so annoying that this does this. Okay, so we already know that we're plus 25 on this one. If we add up last split really quickly, like 100, let's add up all the wins. 165, 22, 8, 7, 6, 3, 3, 2, 1, 1, 1. So 219 wins, then we'll do the losses. 150, 13, 6, 3, 4, 6, 5, 1, 2, 1. And then how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 at the bottom. We'll just do 6 instead of 6 ones. So I went 219 and 197 last split, which is a win difference of plus 22. And I think I talked about this, not that it matters at all, but last split I had one of those Vanguard terminated games where nobody won or lost any LP. But for some reason, op.gg counted as a loss. So actually I went plus 23 games last split as well. So I went plus 25 games this split, plus 22 or plus 23, depending on how you want to count it last split. We'll call it 22 to be generous to Riot, even though I didn't lose any LP for it, and it really just counted as a loss because of op.gg's reading in the API. But I went plus 47. So keep in mind that before these last two splits, before split 2 and split 3, I was starting at 406 LP, and from 406 LP, I went to 404 LP, so I went down 2 LP. I went down 2 LP for winning 47 more ranked games than I lost on like 400 ranked games or something like that. Roughly. About, maybe like 500 ranked games. So that means I went what? Like, I don't know. I have the numbers here. Hold on. So 219 last split plus 166 wins this split. And that equals 385 and then 197 losses last split plus 141 this split. So I went 385 and 338 for plus 47 or plus 48 if you count that game that was actually a Vanguard terminated game because someone was scripting. So plus 47 or plus 48 games, I lost 2 LP. That is so crazy, man. So this is why there's no way in the world that they can do 3 resets. So I'm so glad that they've gotten rid of the 3 resets, because for high elo, impossible to climb. Actually impossible to climb. The only way, like I said, is you would have to play 6 games a day. Now, when I post this kind of argument talking about this, because this is new, this only happened this last year or so, because we've only had 1 year of 3 splits. And then we only had 1 year before that, in 2023, of 2 splits, but 2 splits is a lot better than 3. I think even 2 splits could potentially be okay. I don't like it, because I have a lot, with the son and stuff like that and a lot of stuff going on in real life, I don't have time to play. So for me, not having time to play, any system that benefits people who don't have time to play as much is great, right? And so I like a system that rewards people for being good at the game, not necessarily just people who have time to play 500, 700 games, So I like the 1 split, but 2 splits could have been okay too. I don't know that 2 splits was that bad. They didn't get as much pushback when they had 2 splits. They even thought it was a good idea to add another one. So I just think that the 3 splits was way too many. I'm happy they're fixing it. Next season, I'm going to climb a lot. The reason why is because even if I'm playing the same amount, not getting reset an extra 2 times in the middle of the season is going to allow me to amass a much higher LP total. I mean, I've said it before, it's absurd, right? But like if these last 2 resets didn't happen, and I started my climb that happened in split 2 and split 3 this year from my peak over here where I ended at 406 LP in split 1, if I had won 47 games, even at plus 20, minus 20, we're talking about 47 times 20. Now, this isn't exactly how it works because, of course, if you are actually winning those many games, they'd be different games. I'd be going versus higher MMR games and stuff like that. But 47 wins should be equivalent to plus 940 LP. 940. Now, I'm not saying that's how it works, right? Because again, if I actually went to 1,000 LP, would I be able to hold my own versus challenger 1,000 LP players? Probably not right now. Maybe not at first. I do think that once I get there, I will get used to playing against those players. I will get better. I will have to adapt to higher quality games. I do think I will be able to get challenger next year. But obviously, it's not as straightforward as, I would have, if there weren't 2 resets, I would have been 1,500 LP. That's not true. But when you should gain like 940 LP, and instead you gain minus 2, that feels really bad because that feels like minus 1,000 LP to me. And 1,000 LP is a lot of LP, obviously. So it was just a bad system. But I do think that next split is going to be amazing. Next season is going to be amazing because I think it's going to give me the first chance really ever where I'm at a high enough quality of gameplay that I do think if I get a little bit better, over time, have a lot of time to build up LP over whole year, I think that there's definitely a possibility that I hit challenger at some point, next split. So stop playing every game with Braum with Ignite. Maybe I'll get challenger. I don't know. I seem to be doing pretty well with the Ignite. Look, I'm an aggressive Braum player. I mean, what can I say? I'm not playing Braum to peel you. I'm playing Braum to kill my lane opponent. I play Braum like Leona. I use Braum W to W into a minion to go forward, not to W backward to my ally to give them armor. Lots of stuff to go through. That's a whole nother thing I want to rant about is even though I made it to GM, can we please talk about this? Because I've talked about this a couple of times in my videos. I went another season, another split of positive 25 ranked games. Okay. We've talked about this in the last 2 splits. I went plus 20, plus 20, plus 25. I'm positive 65 ranked games or something in the last year. And I went from 406 LP to 404 LP. Someone explain that to me, okay? This is why I wanted them to get rid of the resets, because there were so many resets that unless you were playing like 6 hours a day, you could not climb. You would just be maintaining the same LP you were at if you were high elo, because it takes 200 games to get back to Masters 400 LP if you were Masters 400 LP before, because the highest rank you can start at is like, the highest rank you can start at after your first placement game is Emerald 1. You can now, which is new, get into like D4 or D3 if you like win your placement games. If you like win 2 placement games, maybe you'll get to D4. If you win all 5, maybe you'll get to D3. But that's the highest you can start. So you have a huge amount of climbing to do. And your LP gains were nerfed. This split in particular, your LP gains were super nerfed. So people started gaining plus 20, minus 20 instead of back when they were at whatever LP they were before. If you were at 400 LP like me, rather than usually the way it works is your MMR is 400 LP. So as long as you're continuing to win at that rank versus those players who were those ranks last season, you're still playing with the same group of people, even though you're all diamond now, your LP gains would be very nice. And then you all get back to 400 LP, and then they would stabilize about plus 20, minus 20. Same thing with challenger players. You'd have a challenger player who's challenger 1,500 LP, and now all of a sudden they're getting plus 20, minus 20 at master 0 LP at the start of the next split. So this was really bad. Like, this was a bad year for High Elo League. Like, they fixed the LP inflation, but the way that they fixed the LP inflation was just by crushing everyone's hopes and dreams for a year and all upward mobility. So it was wild. I mean, we can go back and add up the totals, but I've done it before. I want to make a whole video on this. The fact that I am probably, like I said, plus 65 ranked games in the past 3 splits, and I gained 0 LP. In fact, I've gone down 2 LP from where I was a year ago, is so ridiculous. It's actually beyond repair. It's crazy.